On this episode of the Who Am I series, we're going to be covering the case of Suzanne, who's also known as the Holt Jane Doe. Suzanne was found on September 15, 1994 in Holt, Okaloosa County, Florida. The remains were skeletonized and thus unrecognizable. The time since death is estimated to be at least 1 month and no more than 6 months prior to discovery. The cause of death is suspected to be strangulation. Reports state that she was beaten, raped, and strangled before her body was dumped. Suzanne was a white female who's estimated to have been between 36 to 45 years old, to have stood between 5'3" and 5'6" tall, and to have weighed between 110 and 120 pounds. Investigators were unable to determine her eye color, but stated that her hair was brown with bleached blonde streaks. Her right lower central incisor had a malposition from the normal line of occlusion towards her lips. This is typically referred to as labioversion. Her teeth were in excellent condition, and there was evidence of possible orthodontic treatment at an earlier age. Dental records and DNA are available. Jane Doe was found wearing a bra, a well-made, full-length floral print button-up dress with 7 fabric-covered buttons and 9 buttonholes. The label states Brandywine Creek. There was also a floral print jacket with a drawstring and zipper. It also had knit cuffs and collar and sequins in a pattern on the upper shoulder area. She was also found wearing several pieces of jewelry, including an inexpensive silver ring, a silver heart-shaped ring with a 4-leaf clover design, a silver charm bracelet with 8 loops but no charms, a black cord bracelet with 3 multicolored Native American beads, and a simple cord necklace with a triangle, square, and 2 circle pendants interconnected. It's possible the string was made of leather. She was also wearing a long leather sash with geometric trinkets. According to authorities, there was not much evidence left at the scene. The skeletal remains were discovered by a state prisoner working along the westbound I-10 entrance ramp from State Road 89. This wooded area is a bit north of I-10 and is close to the Holt exit. Okaloosa County is a regional tourist destination known for its beaches. However, this part of the county is quite rural. Suzanne's likely killer, Keith Hunter Jesperson, confessed to the murder. There was no doubt in investigators' minds that his confession was legitimate, as he knew information about the murder that had not been released to the public, such as the fact that there were 3 tie wraps around Suzanne's throat. He was not sure of her name, but thought it was possibly Suzanne, Suzette, Susan, Susie, Sue, Suanna, Susanna, or Shoshana. She was, quote, dirty, unquote, and, quote, unkempt, unquote, and was not wearing shoes, according to Jesperson, and she, quote, smelled and was in need of a shower, unquote. He also noted that she was carrying around things like bark, moss, and a deck of tarot cards, and he wondered if she might have been some sort of fortune teller. Also, she had a music device such as a boombox or a Walkman, and a small suitcase on wheels in her possession. It's believed that Suzanne had been hitchhiking around the time she was murdered. She caught a ride with Jesperson from the 76 truck stop on US 301 in the Tampa Bay area between August 7th and 15th of that same year. At the time, Jesperson was a cross-country truck driver. Jesperson stated that Suzanne was traveling from Miami to somewhere in Reno, Lake Tahoe, or Utah. Keith Hunter Jesperson is a serial killer who murdered at least 8 women in the United States from 1990 to 1995. Many of his victims were sex workers and transients who had no connection to him. Suzanne is the Happy Face Killer's 6th victim. In January 1995, Jesperson agreed to give Angela Sue Bryce a ride from Washington to Indiana. Approximately a week into their trip, Jesperson raped and strangled her. He then strapped her to the undercarriage of his truck and dragged her face down to, quote, grind off her face and prints, unquote. Her body was not found until several months later. After his arrest for the murder of Julie Ann Winningham that same year, Jesperson admitted to killing women across the country in California, Florida, Nebraska, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming. Jesperson sent letters to local newspapers describing in graphic detail how he killed his victims. Most of the notes were stamped with his signature happy face. Because of this, a journalist at the Oregonian dubbed Jesperson the Happy Face Killer. Though Jesperson has admitted to a murder in Florida, there are some inconsistencies between this Jane Doe and his victim based on this victim's estimated time of death. Some reports state that she died in June or July of 1994. In February 2019, Suzanne's remains were sent to the University of Texas for advanced DNA testing. Researchers will compare her DNA to profiles entered in UT's Missing Persons DNA database. If you have any information that can help authorities identify Suzanne, I urge you to come forward to help her family reclaim her and put her to rest. I encourage you to subscribe if you've enjoyed this addition to the Nameless Phantom Library. Thank you for watching.